Well, let's start with a big story that we are tracking this morning, where in a move that's bound to further escalate the tensions in West Asia, Hezbollah has asked Saudi Arabia to not interfere in Lebanon's internal affairs. Saudi Arabia has ordered its diplomats to return from Lebanon. Now, Riyadh has also advised its citizens not to travel to Lebanon and has asked those who are already there to return with immediate effect. Now, the escalation follows the Lebanese Prime Minister's shock resignation over the weekend. Saad al-Hariri had called it quits in a televised broadcast from the Saudi kingdom. An MP of Hezbollah's parliamentary bloc has now said that it supports the Lebanese president's stand on refusing to accept Saad al-Hariri's resignation.
إن النظام السعودي الذي يعاني اليوم من أزمة داخلية حادة ومن إخفاقات خارجية كبرى مطالب بأن ينأى بأزماته عن لبنان وأن يوقف تدخله في شؤونه الداخلية كما هو مطالب بوقف عدوانه على دول المنطقة وشعوبها والكف عن التدخل في شؤونها وخياراتها.
The crisis is being referred to is the shake-up within the Saudi royalty. The Crown Prince is cracking down on what he dubs as corruption, and big names are being swept up in the probe into illegal accumulation of wealth in Saudi Arabia. While the lines are being drawn in West Asia, alliances and partnerships outside of the region are expected to be affected as well. In fact, France's President Emmanuel Macron has announced a surprise visit to Saudi Arabia.
Poursuit évidemment la discussion avec notre partenaire américain sur ce sujet et le Congrès a là une grande responsabilité dans les semaines à venir. Mais je souhaite aussi m'employer à convaincre et sensibiliser le voisin saoudien, et c'est pour cette raison que dès après notre conférence de presse, je me rendrai pour 2 heures en Arabie Saoudite pour voir le prince héritier Mohammed Ben Salman.
In the latest on Saudi Arabia, where the so-called corruption crackdown has now spread beyond the country's borders, regulators in the United Arab Emirates have asked their banks for information about Saudi citizens who've been detained in the investigation. United Arab Emirates Central Bank has requested commercial banks and finance companies to provide details of the accounts of 19 Saudi citizens. 201 people have been detained after an alleged misuse of $100 billion in the past decade. Now, Saudi Arabia's Attorney General Saud al-Mujib has said that 208 had been called in for questioning since last weekend, and 7 people have been released after they had been investigated. Now, this leaves almost 201 people who are still said to be in detention. He's also said that the scale of misused money and assets unmasked by this crackdown is absolutely monumental, and just the last 3 years show as much as $100 billion that have been accumulated in terms of ill-gotten wealth. Now, amongst the detained, there have been top princesses, officials, military officers and also business tycoons of the kingdom. The purge is being seen as a power grab by Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman to sidestep any potential rivals and critics before he formally assumes power in Saudi Arabia.